What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nikki. If you are new, this is Life with Nick, and I do videos on business, lifestyle, fashion, and crime. So today I'm doing something a little bit different on my channel. For those who do not know, I am a RBT, which is short for a registered behavioral technician. So today I'm here to tell you guys a little bit about my experience, as well as what you need to do in order to get RBT certified. So before we get into the video, if you guys have not already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, check out some of my other videos, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So for those who do not know, a RBT is short for a registered behavioral technician. And what a registered behavioral technician basically does is they are autistic teachers, basically. And for those who do not know what autism is a developmental disorder that lowers your communication and social skills for certain reasons. So that is what I do. A registered behavioral technician is something that you actually have to be certified for. So first, we're going to have to talk about what you need to do in order to get certified. So there are a few requirements that you have to have in order for you to even become an RBT. And those are going to consist of 4 different things. So first, you have to be 18 years or older. You also have to have a high school diploma or higher. You also have to be a U.S. citizen. And lastly, you have to have no criminal record. So those are the 4 requirements that they have in order for you to be a registered behavioral technician. And once you meet those qualifications and you're able to move forward and you're ready to move forward, that is when you want to go ahead and look into getting the certification done. So all questions regarding getting certified for an RBT are found on the BACB website. I will leave it in the description box just so you guys can go ahead and play around with it. But everything is done on that site. For questions that you may have to ask, the application process is done, as well as if you need to find a BCBA, which is what we're going to talk about. So once you do meet those requirements, what you're going to do is go to the BACB website. And once you're on that website, you want to go ahead and set up an account. So in order for you to set up an account, they're going to ask you just typical questions as far as your name, your job history, your education history, and basic things like that. So once you go ahead and set up an account, what it's going to do is it's actually going to ask you to apply as an RBT. So in order for you to apply, there are a few different steps that you're going to need to do. And the first step is going to be to actually look for a 40-hour training class. So in order for you to become RBT certified, you have to do the 40-hour training class, because that is going to consist of different videos and different lectures that tells you the whole breakdown of what autism is. Not only that, it's going to give you a whole breakdown of what the different terms within the ABA field are and everything that you need to know in order for you to become an RBT. So that training course usually costs about $99. Mine was $99. I know most places that you're going to look at is going to be $99. But a fun fact with that is you won't have to pay that if you already have a job offer. So there are clinics out there that will help you through this whole process. But this video is mainly for people who are doing everything on their own. So once you find that 40-hour training class and you pay that $99, they are going to let you know that you have 5 days to do it. So that is the minimum amount of time that you have to spend on the videos. You can't just finish it in literally like 40 hours or they won't send you your certification. So once you do the 40-hour training, like which I said consists of different terms, the process of becoming an RBT and what the whole process is going to be like, what you're going to do is you are going to wait on your certification. So what they're going to do is they're going to send you a letter, your professor or whoever it is, they're going to send you their certificate to let you know and to let the BACB website know that you finished the 40-hour training. So that is going to be step 1, is finishing that 40-hour training, paying and getting it done. So step 2 is you actually have to fill out a physical application. You go to the BACB website and you have to print it out and physically write down all your information. So like I said, the basic stuff as far as if you meet the requirements, your name, your social, all that information so that they can look into you. So that's going to be step number 2. So step 1 is doing that 40-hour training. So step number 2 is going to go ahead and get that application done. And step number 3 is going to be to get an assessment done. So an assessment is basically where a BCBA, which is a supervisor of an RBT, sits down with you for a total of 8 hours. And it doesn't have to be a straight 8 hours in one day. Usually it's not. They'll sit down with you for about 4 days, 2 hours within those 4 days. And they're just going to go over everything with you. They're going to have to watch you to make sure that everything that you learned has been put to use. So they're going to write down everything that needs to be done. There's a checklist that they have, and they basically have to make sure that you meet all those requirements on that checklist. So what you can do is, if you do not have a BCBA or you don't have a job, you go to the BACB website, and there's literally a list of all the BCBAs within your state and their emails. So what you do is you send them an email through your personal email, let them know like, hey, I'm looking for a BCBA to do my assessment. Once you find them, they'll go over that assessment with you for that 8 hours. So let's go over this again so you guys don't get confused. So step 1 is going to be to do that 40-hour training. Step 2 is going to be to go ahead and fill out the application. Step 3 is going to be to do the assessment with the BCBA. So step 4, which is our final step, is to go ahead and schedule your exam. So the exam has changed a lot. I've been certified for 2 years now, but since COVID has happened, they've changed a lot. So a lot of the testing centers are closed. They're not even doing physical testing anymore. A lot of the tests are done online. So what happens is you sit down at your laptop and you're actually recorded. That way they know that you're not cheating or anything, and you do the exam. So to prep for the exam, your best option is to be, when you sign up for that 40-hour training, not only does it come with the 40-hour training, it also comes with a practice exam. So when you purchase that for the $99, you can go ahead and you can do the exam over again. I personally, that's what I did in order to pass. I just sat at my computer for a few days and just went over the practice exam questions, because a lot of the questions, if not the same, are worded extremely similar, or they're kind of asking the same thing. You just want to make sure that you fill them out the proper way. So do those exams. I feel like that's going to be your best friend. Listening to someone talk, I know me, doesn't really help me, but actually having those practice questions and going over those practice exams helps me a lot. So that is the steps that you need to take. So make sure that you are qualified, so you meet the standards. Make sure you fill out the application, do the assessment, do the exam, and you're good to go. So once you pass that exam, you made it, you are officially an RBT, like turn up. So once you become an RBT, I feel like that is like the hardest part. Like that's the hard process. Since I live in Georgia, finding a job was extremely easy. I didn't have trouble doing it at all. I feel like so many people, believe it or not, have autism. So the demand for RBTs is extremely high wherever it is that you go. I literally moved to Georgia in June of 2019, and I had like 3 offers by the time I moved here. That's how easy it is to find a job within the ABA field. But you do have a few options when it comes to that as well. So if you are someone who wants to work in home setting or a clinic setting, that is a question that you have to ask yourself, because that is mostly what you find. You mostly find jobs that are home setting or jobs that are within a clinic setting. These are the differences. So when you work in a home setting, you're going to get paid a little bit more. And the reason for that is, me from experience, I know that some people say that they get their full-time hours in home, but from my experience, I noticed that they'll pay you more, but they won't promise you all of your hours. So for example, you'll get an offer letter that's like $25 an hour. And though that sounds great, they may not promise you the full 40 hours that you would get working in clinic. When you work in clinic, they may offer you about $18 an hour or $20 an hour. And I know that sounds like it's a big difference, but when you work in clinic, 9 times out of 10, they are going to promise you those full 40 hours. So you'll know that you're getting all your supervision hours, because you will have to have a certain amount of supervision hours. You'll know that you're getting that, and then you'll know that you're getting your full 40 hours. I personally recommend, and I personally like doing clinic, just because not only do I get my full 40 hours, but it's kind of more of a stable setting to me. I don't really feel comfortable working around kids' parents. So I would prefer to work in a clinic setting, versus if you're someone who isn't that social and you don't want to be around that many people, you may choose a home setting, because when you work in a home setting, the only people that you're going to see is your kid's parents, if they have siblings, and then you're going to see your BCBA every now and again when they come to supervise you. Versus if you work in a clinic, you see a bunch of people. You see like all the kids. You see all your coworkers that are working with the different kids. You see all of these different people, because there's other therapists that may work in the clinic, such as occupational therapists, speech therapists, and then you'll also see all the BCBAs that are also there with you for that full 40 hours. So keep in mind, if you're someone who is not as social, you may want to choose the home setting, but if you're someone who doesn't mind working around a bunch of different people, then you may be better off working in a clinical setting. So that's the difference between in-home in working in the clinic. So my experience, I'm going to talk about working in the clinic just because I have a little bit of home experience, but it didn't really last that long. Like I said, I didn't have the best experience. But working in a clinic setting, I would say it definitely has its up and downs. Obviously, I'm going to talk about the kids first. I feel like working in a clinic, it's rough in the beginning, but over time it gets a little bit better. So the main thing and the main job that you have to do working as an RBT in the clinic is literally just going over a program. So the BCBA comes up with the program for your kid, whether one kid may have colors in their program or, how to eliminate their amount of tantrums or aggressions, and another kid may have just puzzles or different stuff like that. So your day consists of you going over that program with your kid. That way you can eliminate behaviors and hire their communication and social skills and academic skills for some kids. So that's what your day looks like. So when you come in, you'll get your kids set up. You may have to take them to breakfast. Once that's done, you want to sit down at the table with them, and you're going to do what they call discrete trial training. So that's when you basically just sit at a table and you do work with the kid. You try to get them to sit down. You try to get them to go over their program. So that's what your day is going to look like. Within that day as well, you may have kids that need to work on their social skills. So they may have to they may have to tolerate being in the room with another kid for a certain amount of time, or sharing or taking turns. So stuff like that, that's what you're going to see throughout your day. You also may have to potty train kids. You may have to, work on their feeding levels. So to help them use a fork or a spoon or whatever it is that they need help with. But a lot of things that you're going to see within that day is a lot of behavior. So you're going to see aggression. You're going to see elopement, which means the kid is running away from you. You're going to see people, throwing chairs, or kids even injuring themselves. So they may actually harm themselves too, which is a part of their behavior. So if you feel like that's not something that you want to do, just because being an RBT comes with a lot, then that may not be the job for you. You know what I mean? Because those are behaviors that you are going to have to see, and behaviors that you are going to have to tolerate throughout your day. So keep that in mind. I would highly recommend working as a registered behavioral technician, just because I feel like it's always something that you can do. There's always plenty of places that are hiring. So you will never be without a job. You will never be without money or some kind of an income. Not only that, working as a registered behavioral technician, there's always bigger doors open for you. So if you don't want to stick to the RBT level, hey, go back to school, get your bachelor's, get your master's degree, and become a BCBA, which offers a lot more money, obviously. But if you want to move further within the field, that's something that you do, and you do have your options. So like I said, you can work home setting, clinic setting. They also have school settings, and different settings like that. So it's different ways for you to do it. You don't have to just be in one standard job doing the same thing every day. And that's the thing that I like about it the most, is the fact that every day is different. So if you're someone who's interested, definitely check out the BACB website. I will leave all this information in the description box below. Please comment below some other videos you guys would like to see me do. Turn on that notification bell, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.